Please be seated. I am so happy to be here. That was the best beginning of a church service ever. Oh my gosh, that opera, the kids, we have already been preached to, hadn't we? It is so great. Thank you for the invitation. I'm Becca. I'm part of the community of Thistle Farms. We are located, our headquarters is in Nashville, Tennessee. We do housing for women who are survivors of trafficking, addiction, who have been prostituted. We have a national network. We have a global community that both Franny and Mike are part of the Global Council to increase shared trade to help women come out of poverty and find freedom. And that's the capacity that I'm speaking from today. Have you ever heard the phrase, know your place? You need to know your place, right? It's a lot of times used to control and oppress. This spring, there was a woman who came to our community of Thistle Farms into our housing program from the Tennessee State Women's Prison. She was sent there when she was like 23 years old, and she's come out at 57 years old. 34 years without a visitor. She's come out on a walker. In our community that is about love and freedom, it's taken months to get her to quit walking on the right-hand side of the hallway, to look at you in the eye, to express a concern or a joy. She's been told to know her place for so long that she has come to believe that her place is about that oppression and control. All of us in our lives at one time or another, somebody said, know your place. You know, women, when they were first ordained in the Episcopal Church, got told our place plenty. And I remember at Thistle Farms, and you know, I'm from the South, so we like to feed and have, you know, whenever I was raised by a woman who carried a casserole in the back of her car just in case. So when we were doing this work, I was like, I want to open a cafe, and the big foundation in town said, that is not what you do. You help women and you make bath and body care products. You have no business opening a cafe. So it was interesting several years later seeing that foundation host its board meeting in the cafe. Sometimes knowing your place means instead remembering we are grounded. I know my place. I know my place in this world. I know where my voice comes from. I'm sure of myself. I understand the context and the culture. I know my place. Frederick Buechner says, our place is where our great gladness meets the deep hunger of the world. That's our place that we need to go into and be in. Amen. Our place is this sense of like, we can't be shaken on this ground. We know it. Our most recent international justice enterprise, and I say justice enterprise because it's an enterprise where the workforce is the mission, is working with a group of women who are all refugees from eastern Ukraine doing a knitting project called Love Rises. And it's an amazing group of women. Franny and I were there with about 5 other people, met the 6 knitters. We were in Poland, and everybody started knitting and talking and doing what women do when we find our place, which is organize everybody else. Here's what we need to do to fix this. This is what we can do, because all of us know that all the data in the world shows when we invest in women, we heal communities. Amen? And when we do violence and isolate and hurt women, we kill communities. So the women came together. They were doing this great work. And one of the organizers, all the women had jobs and houses and all of this. They left everything, were thrown into poverty without the dignity of work, with hope as their only flagship, and they wanted to start this enterprise to share the hope with the world. They came together. One of the organizers is an amazing singer. And she started singing this song. Couldn't understand a word of it, but it's that melody. It's that power that comes. And the women joined in with her, the other women knitters from Ukraine. And pretty soon it was a chant, and they had their arms doing this, right in rhythm with it, just singing, feeling that revival of hope rising in them. One of the women that was with us was a woman named Regina, one of the original Thistle farmers who graduated in 1999, who's just celebrated 26 years of sobriety, who brings hope and joy wherever she is. I look around, and she is doing this, and she's just singing without even understanding or knowing the words. And I'm like, what are you singing? And she goes, it doesn't matter. I know my place is with the women who are trying to survive. I know my place is to raise my hand and sing along and chant. Knowing our place goes beyond words, goes beyond boundaries. And knowing our place, Jesus reminds us, and Thessalonians says, is to remember beyond all boundaries, beyond what Howard Thurman says, that place where we even know loneliness because we've gone outside everything to seek the truth. Our place is as the beloved. And so Jesus, in these Gospels the last few weeks in chapter 18 and 19 in Luke, keeps saying he is talking about people who have forgotten their place to remember their belovedness. And he starts out with the widow in front of the judge. He goes on to the rich ruler. He moves on to the Pharisee, and then he does the blind beggar. All these people who have forgotten their place, thank God, to remember their belovedness. And then the climax, Zacchaeus. It makes me weep. Beyond his stature, he climbs a tree, moving beyond his place. And when we move beyond our stature to a higher ground, and Jesus says, I see you. I see you. You're not lost. I can see you. Come down and I'll stay with you. I'll go beyond all the boundaries and borders to find you and to be with you, because that is our place. Knowing our place is sacramental. It is the outward and visible sign of that inward and spiritual grace that we long for. It is no accident in this world that the most vulnerable people end up in some of the most desolate places. And in that space, our calling over and over again is to see one another in that place and find the beauty and restoration and hope that comes from that. So thank God we know our place. We know our place as the people of God. This is Halloween. This is the day to remember that our place, our journey began with God and it ends with God. And this whole process is a healing journey about walking with intention towards wholeness. That is our place. So that we leave this place and go out into the world and love it again and again and again until we get it right and the world is reminded of its place with the redemption and comfort and salvation of love. Amen.